Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. This is Mark. Recap for game two. As the picture shows, this is the story of the game. Um, so Jack Hughes goes down in the first period on, what everybody's saying is kind of a dirty hit. I, as a small, as a small player who's played most of his life, I don't consider that a small hit. I mean, a bad hit. I consider it. The throwing to the ground um, was a little bit of an issue, but Husey kind of just fell awkwardly, and his arms are flailing, and it looked like I had flashbacks to one of my many dislocations that led to both my labrums being torn and me retiring. So hopefully it's a either a really bruised shoulder, but I think it's dislocated. I don't know if it's going to be separated or he tore anything, but I'm hoping that it's just a separated shoulder. If he's out for months, it's really going to set the season back. I think watching them play the rest of the game. It was a tight game, physical game. I like to see. I mean, all the goals were a team effort, um, and it was nice to see again more guys that were not on the team last year getting their first goals and their first points. Colton White with a really nice pass on the power play goal, moving the puck around to VC in the middle. Um, Mercer's goal, great pass by Tatar. They seem to have a lot more spark, and the defense is a lot more stout. The penalty kill was excellent, but you're playing Seattle. You're not playing Washington like we're going to do on Thursday. So again, if you know, it was a good game, but it was a terrible game in terms of what happened. If Hughes is out, that really hurts us. I don't know who slots in at that center spot. I guess you could slot Zaka in at the center spot, and then you're down a winger. But what you can do is you can kind of move Tatar up and bring up Holtz earlier than you wanted, which I think is what they would do. Maybe not immediately. Maybe they would, do a couple games with kind of a flyer at the winger spot, give him some more time, and then bring him up and let the kids play again. They really want to take a step forward this year, but if Hughes is out for months, I mean, it's not going to happen. They're not going to be as bad as last year, but they they need to stop the blowing these leads. Their penalty kill was excellent. The 5-on-3 that they almost killed off 100% was great. The goals on Bernier were both on the defense, just straight up screening their goaltender and beautiful shots. Um, you know, but you know, Heischer, Nico looks excellent. He's not going to put the puck in the net that much, I don't think. Maybe he'll score 20 on the if on a good year this year, but his defensive uh, awareness is just continuing to grow. Uh, Knocking pucks down out of midair and clearing them, blocking shots, winning faceoffs. So he's doing great. I thought Subban had a good game, except for, of course, for some reason he breaks a stick every time he takes a one timer. Dougie stepping up in the middle there on those slot chances. I love that. And if he can show these young guys that when he does that, they rotate back and cover for him, that's going to be dangerous. Severson in his first game, stepping up, crossing the middle, and waiting for Uzi to put it there. That was great. Um, what else? Johansson looks great. Tatar looks great. Again, Bernier looks great. The team looked fine. That little psycho we got who was punching the guy who hit Hughes through two referees. I mean, that was great too. But it's all about this injury. If this injury's, he's out for a couple weeks or a month, that's different. You could tread water, maybe go 500 for a month, and then he comes back and he's flying. But if he's out, like, what's his name, uh, in Tampa, long term IR for another fucking months, 4 or 5 months. I mean, that's not good. That's not going to be. It's It's going to set the team back because they don't have the scoring depth to replace Hughes. They just don't, and they're too young. And you could see it on their faces a little bit, and it's really going to be a detriment to Sharangovich and Yanni over there. But again, if you can put a Zaka between them, maybe, and he can kind of get them going a little bit, and they can get themselves going. Just give them, a solid center. They can work themselves into a little bit of a tandem there. But then the problem is that first line, you need somebody to play with Brett. And I don't know who's really. I mean, if you put Holtz on there, maybe you could put Tatar up there. But then you got a third line of Mercer, Johansson, and who? Holtz. I mean, Holtz shouldn't be on that third line. That doesn't make any sense. Put him on the first power play, maybe in Hughes' spot, and he's ripping one timers with Dougie. That could work. So it really depends on where we are by the end of the day today. It really does. Wednesday. If Hughes is out, it's going to be a major problem for a long period of time. If he's out for a couple weeks, again, we have to tread water. We have Washington on Thursday. I'm chalking that up as a loss. We can't beat We never beat Washington. I mean, they just smoked Vancouver, Colorado last night, but Carr was a -5. I mean, that's insane. And for some reason, they just keep on trucking. And the problem with our team right now that we've had for a while is they're just small because they're young. They're small. And you get up 3-1 on a Kraken team, you can kind of hang on. But if you're up 3-1 on Washington and they start throwing their bodies around, Tom Wilson takes a headshot on somebody, this team kind of um, folds a little bit. You know, so I want to see where um, they can go depending on the injury. I probably should have waited on doing the video a little bit, but let's see. Now, if he's out for a long time, I might do another video on a long-term outlook on the team, but I don't know. I don't know. You have to see what the news says. So again, good to start 2-0. You want to bank these points. The stadium was packed last night. It looked like, which is great. And then your next three games are, you got Washington, which maybe you can skate and get into the OT and steal one or get a point, or who knows, maybe they're having an off night, and you take them. And then Saturday, you got Buffalo, which I mean, going into the season, you imagine was going to be a win, but they're 3-0. But they haven't really played any real hockey teams at home. I mean, they played Vancouver on a road trip. So maybe we'll get the real Buffalo and we can beat them at home. And then on Tuesday I'll be going to the game. They got the Flames, Coleman coming in, but again it's a Western team on a road trip. We should be able to handle them at home. But you got Kachuk. These little punk guys always seem to get under our skin, and those are the guys that we can't handle. They got a Yanni Gord on the Kraken. And I know the league has changed, and I know all that stuff and dirty hits, but you got a young team with young offensive talent that's trying to figure out what they're doing. You need to be able to just throw a guy out there that goes, if you touch my players, I'm putting you through the glass and I'm taking a 10-game suspension. That's what needs to happen. So if we play the Kraken again, that guy needs to be put in the hospital. I'm sorry. I mean, I know it's not intent to injure. I know nobody wants to hear that, but I'm telling you, as somebody who's been playing hockey his entire life, who's the small guy on the team, and I was a little bit of the pest player, you know, um, the teams who had guys that just isolated me, I became a non-issue. I mean, I could still put the puck in the net and I could kill penalties, but getting under their skin, that all went away. So that's one thing we need to work on. And then one more thing I'll say: Bernier looks great. I mean, he's swallowing everything up. He's not giving up bad rebounds. So even when Blackwood comes back, Lindy Ruff said that he's most likely not going to play on the homestand. So I picked up Bernier in my fantasy. So now I have Bernier and Blackwood. Depending on what happens there, I might actually drop Blackwood. There's not really a lot of goalies in my league to pick up, but we'll see. But Bernier, I mean, I could go with him for a while. Like I don't. I mean, our defense did not give up a lot of um, those scoring chances that we gave up last year, I have not seen the first two games where they're just rotating in our zone and cycling for 15 minutes and ripping shots and ripping shots and ripping shots. That's not what I've seen so far. So the Washington game is going to be a test, but without Jack Hughes, it kind of exposes us. So again, recap, great game as a team. I like seeing all the young guys and all the new guys get the points and get them off the board so they can fit in. I like to see, it sounds like Ty Smith is not that close, maybe another week or two, um, and Blackwood also. And if Hughes is the same, and all of a sudden you have, Smith, Hughes, Blackwood, and Wood all back, this team is a little bit different. You got Wood out there, headhunting a little bit. That would be good. So overall, nice 2-0 start. Tough division. There's a lot of injuries around the league. You can kind of stay in it for a while. We can see what happens. Prediction for Thursday. I have to say they're going to lose because it's Washington and we can't beat them for some reason. Now they're without Backstrom, but we give up power plays and they score. That's what happens. But if we can play a tight game with them and get on the board early and find a way to stay out of the box, we should be able to win. But I'm going to predict they lose. Maybe not a blowout or anything, not nothing like that. Maybe a 5-2 or a 5-3, because just Washington again is the ageless team who, for some reason, they just get on a run. So, all right, guys. So that's going to be it. All eyes on Jack Hughes and the Twitter timeline today. See what goes on. They're going to evaluate him today. I think he's going to be out for a while. I really do. I mean, I watched them fall. I watched that arm go like this. If I do that right now, my arm falls out. So, hopefully he didn't rip a labrum. He's 20. Hopefully he's a little, gumpy and he can just kind of, you know, come back quicker than a 35-year-old like myself. But it's not looking good. And if he's out, it kind of makes everybody move up, which is not good for the overall team in terms of winning. But for the future of the team, I do like it as you get these guys in more in intense situations. So let's see. So that's going to be it. I appreciate the support. I'll have another video after the Washington game, unless there's some dramatic news that comes down on Hughes. Maybe I'll jump on here and do a quick video. But if not, I'll talk to you guys after the game on Thursday. All right, guys, this has been Mark. I'll talk to you later. See ya.